the games industry, it seems as if we've collectively become a bunch of graphic whores. It seems as if far more of the conversation is about the technicalities of the pixels, the quality of the pixels on play, rather than the game itself. Ray tracing, for example, everyone is disappointed if a game doesn't have ray tracing. Apart from the fact that most of us don't have cards that can run ray tracing anyway, because as far as I'm concerned, and I would stand by this, ray tracing is not meant for games. At best, it could have been the norm in games 10 to 15 years after it was introduced. And here's the thing, I'm not even that far off, because the consoles can't do max out ray tracing. Therefore, ray tracing will never be the go-to for every single lighting and reflection and shadow and so on. It's just not possible. So when the consoles are able to run ray tracing as good as say the 3090, then maybe you can talk about ray tracing being the norm in games. But once again, that would be at best 10 years out from when it was first announced. But yet everyone is pushing for this ray tracing thing that you know you can't run. Then to compensate for it, we have to drop the resolution, something that we have not done for decades in gaming. And speaking of dropping the resolution, Daniel Owen and Vex, both of them say that the fake resolution is the best form of optimization. And that is again because they bought into this hype nonsense about focusing on your technology so much. It is impressive technology, you know, this reconstruction thing that they're doing, the fake resolution. It is very, very impressive. Also utterly useless if your card can run it in the first place. Now people will say that the fake resolution is what will allow your card to run because all the new technology is just so demanding. Here's the funny thing, Remnant 2 just proved my point. Now this is another game which people were more focused on the graphics of it rather than the quality of the game itself, because this game is probably like a 6. Depending on how averse you are to wokeism on a whole, that could be a 5. Because this game had no purpose. It had no purpose to be made. They had no story to tell here. The story is non-existent. And the narrative, the first part, the intro, that was like built by somebody else. It's like a different team altogether that is not representative of the final game. So this is very different from Remnant 1. But getting back to the graphics thing now. For the longest while, Remnant 2 was virtually unplayable at the target resolution that a given card was attempted to play it as. And the devs even said it was built with upscaling in mind. Now, I don't know exactly when this was. Okay, I'm gonna check right now. But apparently there was another update, and in this update, I just recorded some footage. I can now play the game comfortably at native resolution without any upscaling. Well, if it's native, then it's automatically without any upscaling. You get my point though. I can run the game native, very high settings. Max, I think is only shadow I turned down, right? And look, I'm getting 40 to 50 FPS. This is what I expect my card should be able to do to new games. Because new games, new engine, I expect it to be more demanding than the old engine. No problem. So I don't expect to get the 150 frames that I'm getting in Hitman, for example. But I expect to get around 50. Right? Back when the game first released, this map that you see me here, see me on this map was what ultimately forced me to say, you know what, I have to put on the fake resolution, because my frame rate was like down in the 20s. It was unplayable, and then now look at it. The frame rate is like double, almost triple in some cases. So I would love if people stopped jumping on this tech bandwagon thing. Alright, the game has very good polygons and very good leaves and 4K, 8K textures and so on. But you play the game, it have woke nonsense in it, it have very poorly designed maps, very poorly designed inventory. This game, Remnant 2, for example, virtually has no inventory management. You will have like dozens upon dozens of rings, and when you find one that you like, you don't want to change it because you've got to scroll through like 50 rings to find the one, and it is ridiculous. You need to sort this thing. Like you need to have categories or somewhere to sort the rings, or ideally you'd rather not have all your gameplay or majority of your gameplay load tied to damn jewelry. But even if you want to do this nonsense, at least be able to sort it. Yet this very clear game design flaw was not mentioned at all. This is why I was saying the reviews for Remnant 2 are a load of nonsense. And so honestly, everyone who reviewed the game and let me to buy the game, I stopped watching those persons for reviews, because you know what, I can't trust it. It's a very similar thing with Star Wars, The Force Awakens. Jeremy Jahns and Chris Tuckman and so on, these people hype up the movie, so I went and see it, and I left thinking, did I watch the wrong movie? Because how could you people who claim to be film experts not see the blatant nonsense in this movie? So I stopped watching those people when it comes to recommendations for movies. So what I would like is for us to stop going down this being shields and pawns for tech companies and being all obsessed over the 8K textures and the fake reds and the fake frames. There is a place for that, don't get me wrong, but first and foremost you need to have a proper working game. And so no, let's go back to the focus being the quality of the game, not the quality of the pixels.